Yeah, that's cool right there. Peace and blessings, family. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. It's your brother Sean Ali here in the office, the workspace, in the garden of life, right? The garden of life. And just wanted to come and share a brief message with you in a question. Have you heard that you are what you eat? Right? That's something we've all heard. It's an old question. It's an old saying. You are what you eat. So after learning this equation or this question or this understanding that we are what we eat, wouldn't the most intelligent action I could do be to grow my own food? Right? Because if you look at that saying that you are what you eat, and I'm trying to become something, I have an idea and plan a that I want to become, right? How do I control that? How do I be that? If you are what you eat, now if I control this food, if I control the food supply, I control what I eat, I control what I ultimately become. So what we do here, because food is a necessity of life, right? We need food. There's certain elements that we have to get from food. There is food that doesn't die. There are plants that every plant that you see right now, this is our olive. We have some olive trees. We have, matter of fact, we have 4 olive plants. One, here's another one, another one. There's one downstairs that I'm nursing on right now. We have some grapes. We have a few different varieties of grapes. Here's one of our grape plants, right? We have a grape plant here. It's a grape plant right here. We have blackberries. Look, we have blackberries. See that beautiful white flower that blossom? This is the blackberry. We have blueberries. Here's some of our blueberry plants. And I'm saying this to say that because these particular plants, they don't die. They will go to sleep during the winter time. When springtime comes, they wake back up ready and they become mature, ready to give you more food. So we hear these things about these food deserts. We hear about the war that they have on us with food, right? We hear about the war by zip codes. How do you break away from that? You have to stop participating in that program. How do you stop playing that game? How do you extract yourself out of that game? You grow your own food. See, I don't have to worry about nobody waging war on me with food because I know where my food comes from. I don't have to worry about a food desert or a famine or a shortage because I'm not going to the grocery store for my food supply. So the question is, how much of your food supply comes from somebody else? If you want to look at your survivability, if you want to look at your ability to live abundant life, it starts with your food supply, right? Because we hear you are what you eat and food is your medicine. So this is not only your building blocks, but the medicinal right here. So I take control of not just my life. I'm I'm doing for self, right? I'm doing for self. I'm feeding myself and my family with a perpetual life cycle. Grapes don't die. These grapes will, after they produce, wintertime comes, they're going to go to sleep. Springtime comes, they're going to be mature, right? So the what we harvest from them will be an even greater yield. These blackberries, look at them. They're starting to blossom, right? This is what we're getting some right now. We're going to get some blackberries. We have more than one, so don't think that I'm depending on this one little bush to feed us. No, we have several, right? Here's a blackberry right here. And look, let me tell you something. The leaf of the blackberry, the leaf of the grape The leaves of the olives, the leaves of the blueberries, the leaves of these plants, they are just as edible, medicinal, and nutritious as the fruit. See, I'm not just waiting for the blackberry to give me fruit. I'm harvesting the leaves as the plant grows, right? I'm not waiting on the grape to give me the fruit. We harvest the leaves while the plant is growing. So we have something to eat that's just as nutritional, medicinal, of life value as the fruit. So as we are waiting on the olives to flower and produce fruit, the leaves, see, the leaves, we can eat from the leaves. So that was a part of the planning for the garden that we have. Is we want to, because we can have perpetual life, right? When you look at death, death, it has a cause, just like life has a cause. Your mother and your father, they got together, right? The sperm from your father and the egg from your mother, they got together and they created you. That's a cause. Death is a cause. Heart disease is the number one cause of death. Clogged arteries, arteriosclerosis, is the number one cause of heart disease, right? You got cancer, number two, respiratory problems, number three, in the list. But all of these are controllable and preventable through your lifestyle. How much of your food supply comes from somebody else? When you go outside, how much of your food supply comes from somebody else? When you look at that answer, if it's 100%, if 100% of what you eat comes from somebody else, you have to stop that right now, because it is impossible to live a long time and somebody else is growing your food. Because as soon as they stop, as soon as they raise the prices, as soon as they bring you some inferior quality food, you won't be as healthy and strong as you can be. You won't live as long as you can live. So we hear the saying that says, you are what you eat. Woo, man, you are what you eat. So if I want to make myself healthy and strong and powerful and youthful, I got some products. See, these products don't die. They just grow and mature. So every year of my life, I've had each one of these plants for the last 5 years now. So for the last 5 years, I've been cultivating, I've been harvesting from, I've been taking care of and loving. And if you open up the Bible, Genesis 1:28, it says, and God blessed them with the dominion and the ability to be fruitful and to multiply and to replenish and to subdue the earth, right? So we have that part of the ability to take our hands and our feet, to use our brains to move something and to subdue, replenish, to multiply. Did you read that part in the Bible? And then he says, and he blessed them with dominion over the fowl of the air, the fish of the sea, and every creeping and crawling thing on the planet Earth. So as I'm out here, I'm regaining, reintroducing myself to the place that God created me to be in. If you open up Genesis 2:7, Genesis 2 chapter 7, and says God looked around and there was no one to till the earth. After he created the Garden of Eden, in Genesis chapter 2, it says God looked around and there was no one to till the earth. That's when he created us. It said he made that mist of water go over the dirt, form that mud. And then he formed man and breathed into man, and man became a living soul. This is your purpose. Nobody is responsible for growing your food. Nobody, not the government, not the farmer, not your best friend, not your neighbor. Nobody is responsible for growing your food except for you. That's your responsibility. He blessed you with dominion, with the ability to subdue the earth. It's not hard. Don't say, I don't have a green thumb. It's your nature to subdue and replenish and to multiply and to take from, to extract from the earth. You reap what you sow. You reap what you sow. You sow with your hands. You get into that dirt and you move something, right? For every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. As you are moving, life is coming back at you, right? How much of your food supply comes from somebody else? Grow you something that you don't have to grow every year. You can grow the tomatoes and the peppers. Those are great. I love those too. We have those as well. But the weather condition has to be so specific compared to these are naturally occurring elements, right? Some areas you don't have to plant blackberries and blueberries. They naturally grow because animals eat them. And when they defecate the seed, it's fertilized, and wherever that seed lands, it grows. So these are naturally occurring elements. When you take them and you take your hands and you go to cultivate it, see, they have something called Vigmotropism. This is the word for the day. Vigmotropism. 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 Vig is Latin for touch. Tropism is movement. It is the study of touching plants and how they either move to you or away from you. So now this goes into God blessing you with dominion over all of this. Vigmotropism. If you have the right mind, the right spirit, the right essence, and you touch these plants, they are created to submit and to do what you tell them to do. That's their job. That's their function. They're just seeds until you put them into action. Right? When we do this, they are beholden. It's that symbiotic relationship. They now will give you exactly what you and your family need. They don't die. They don't die. Look, they don't die, family. This is Betty, right? Our main olive plant. Get yourself some olives. Olives are, when you're looking at that olive oil and the quality of the olive plant, we can't trust that olive oil at the grocery store. So get your own, right? Get your own olive plant. We are propagating this year, so we will have some baby olive plants that we're going to be selling. These are black olives. This is the black olive strand. And if you've never seen a black olive, man, it's beautiful, right? But you can practice that art of thigmotropism, where you can practice that art of you having dominion over everything. I pray to God, I pray to the creator, but I command these plants because they are underneath of us. So family, listen, I'm out here and I'm doing some maintenance and stuff and doing some TLC and letting these plants know what I need from them and giving them their plan of action, the standing operating procedures for this year, right? The rules of engagement for this year and what we need to get from them. And look, we got some figs right here as well. We have several fig plants. Figs are great. Look, the leaf, while we're waiting on the plant to give us the fruit, the leaves, the branches, the barks of every one of these plants that you see are edible, nutritional, and medicinal. So we don't just grow things that give us one item. While we're waiting on the fruit, we can still take advantage of the life. Listen, we're going to do some tonight. I'm going to do some grape leaf, some stuffed grape leaves. We're going to do some stuffed grape leaves I have some cabbage and I have some navy beans. We're going to stuff these with, man, listen, thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate everyone. I just wanted to come as I'm out here and share some love because we are at war and we are getting all these beautiful warnings and lessons on food deserts, food shortages, and the war by zip code. Well, how do you save yourself from that? How do you save yourself from a food desert that's imposed by somebody else? Right? If you see a video of them burning food and them burning these factories, how do you save yourself from that? You grow your own. You grow your own. It's a food desert. How do you save yourself from the food desert? You grow your own, right? How do you save yourself from the war on us by the zip code? If you live in a zip code that's a war zone, how do you save yourself from the war? You grow your own food, family. Listen, you grow your own food, right? You are what you eat. So if you grow your own food, you are literally growing your own life. Man, that's powerful. That's putting it right here in your hands where it should be. So I just wanted to come and listen. Hold on. We got seeds too, family. So we do have some seeds. So if you need some seeds, you know, we got some corn, we have carrots, we have some Swiss chard, you know, we got some radish. Look, some purple tomatillos. If you've never seen a purple tomatillo, we got some seeds, right? We got a couple different kinds of sunflowers, some okra, some black radish. Ooh, you ever seen the black radish? Man, we got some black radish seeds, some basil, some beets. These are blue bush beans, the green beans, some butternut squash, some French. This is the French breakfast radish. We have like 3 or 4 different types of radishes and beets, the dark red, and we have some sweet corn. This is just some of the seeds and things that we have that we harvest. These are ours, heirloom. We grew and we harvest them from our own garden so that we can have them. We do offer some for sale. So if you would like to have availability to some quality seeds, definitely contact us. Supreme Garden and Nursery by Sean Ali. I just wanted to come as your brother to say, hey, man, it is up to you and I to save ourselves. We are big men and big women. We are strong men and strong women. We are free men and free women. What do you do with your freedom? You save yourself. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad and his #1 student, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, they have always constantly remind us to do for self or suffer the consequences, to do for self or die. These plants won't die. They're going to walk with me and my family as long as we take care of them. And they're going to feed us every year of our life. Woo! Man. See, you know what type of peace of mind I have from knowing that me and my family have a food supply that's available, that's right here, that we don't have to worry about anything about. See, that's a quality of life that you can't buy. You have to do it with your hands and your feet and your brain, and you have to create it. Take charge of your post and all temple property in view. Walk your post in a perfect manner, keeping always on the alert. You hear the birds? We got bees and the pollinators coming through. Life. This is a garden of life, man. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm your brother. If you'd like to learn more, Supreme Garden Nursery by Sean Ali. Now, family, go carpe diem. Go and seize your day. Go conquer your day. Listen, go create your heaven and set yourself in it at once, because that is all up to you. Peace.